So, today on the 27th of September marks the 1-year anniversary since CS2 was released. Yippee! Happy birthday! Now, the CS2 journey started with a lot of anticipation 1 year ago. There was a lot of excitement for the new game, the new future updates, the game mode, skins, operations, and things we couldn't even imagine. Now that it's been 1 year, I think we can all say we're pretty disappointed. The game feels very empty and so much content is still missing and cheaters are just running rampant. So what has CS2 actually managed to achieve in its first year? Well, today we're taking a deep look inside the updates and the progress of CS2, how it started and how it looks today. But before we do that, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is one of the best and easy to use CS2 trading websites where you can change up your inventory to any color combination you like. Blue, yellow, pink, colorblind, doesn't matter, SkinsMonkey's got them all. And by clicking the link in the description or using code ANOMALY, you can get a deposit bonus of up to 35%, and if it's your first trade, you can also use code ANOMALY for up to $5 for free. Plus, they've got nice extras like freebies for free skins and balance, and they've also got 24/7 live support. So if you want to try them out, then please do so from the link in the description, and thank you once again SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Now, the first update of CS2 was technically the day the game released, which isn't really an update, that's just the day the game released, but whatever, we're gonna count it as an update. And in terms of updates, this was one of the largest ones ever. The game had just come out of beta, and they enabled competitive matchmaking, wingman, and a bunch of other features, and in this update, they also released the Season 1 for Premiere, which surely meant that we would get a lot of different competitive seasons, with leaderboards and potential awards in the future. We'll get back to this later. The first update patch after this came the same day as CS2 released, and they kept coming, with them rolling out a total of 10 patches in the next 2 weeks. These were all just bug fixes, with the biggest change being that Premier rank up and rank downs only happened every 5,000 rating. Basically, no big changes. These first weeks of the game were also complete chaos, with tons of glitches and exploits and cheats being available. Just some examples of things that happened during the first month that I remember are the Michael Jackson peak, with players being basically sideways peaking, a ton of false VAC bans, namely for using console commands or the AMD VAC bans. Dropped weapons would randomly fall outside of the map. You could slide up or down the skybox in middle of Mirage in competitive. You could throw the bomb outside of the map on many different maps, and at one point players could even teleport without cheats to basically anywhere on the map. There was of course much more chaos and exploits, but these are just some of the things that I remember. Early CS2 was like Mad Max. Then on the 3rd November, the CS2 workshop was finally added, marking the start of the community map made era. But the first actual piece of in-game content that wasn't just a bug fix was the 2024 service medal that was added 2 months into the game, but was first available in January, so 3 months into the game. What? Up until this point, we had 28 different updates in just 77 days, which means more than 1 update every 3 days. CS2 was on track to becoming a great game. Was on track is the operative word here. Because it was at this point it became apparent that we were really missing a lot of content and the game felt bare bones. 5 months into the game, the first real content update came in the beginning of February, called A Call to Arms. This update introduced Arms Race with 2 CSGO maps remade for CS2, that was baggage and shoots. They also released the first ever CS2 case, the Kilowatt case, a sticker capsule, and a music box. This was also the first time we ever had skins for the SUs, which is cool. The biggest change in this update to skin guys was the custom sticker placement, as well as being able to have 5 stickers on a skin instead of just 4. Other things in this update was the XP overload, the refund all button in the buy menu, and they reduced peekers advantage. Basically, a decent amount of new things, enough to make the game interesting for a little while. The next entire month were just minor bug fixes until the middle of March, when the PGL Copenhagen Major Hub was added. This, like usual, meant the viewer pass, the upgradable coin, stickers, souvenir packages, etc. This was of course a very expected update because we always get major items, so nothing really revolutionary about it. 1.5 months later, we get the update called On the Other Hand, which didn't include that many changes at all. The only things it really added was the left-hand view model, which is insane to think that it hadn't been a part of the game until this point. I mean, it was part of CSGO for 10 years. Why just remove it for CS2? I don't know, but at least, hey, they re-added it. They also added the dropped weapon tab at the bottom of the buy menu, which is a good addition, but definitely inspired by Valorant. And they added the grenade crosshair. And finally, for some reason, they removed the overpass from the active duty map pool, which is one of the maps they were promoting the most during the beta, because it was one of the only maps that got a so-called full overhaul, meaning it was fully redone, revamped, and remapped for CS2. Which is very weird that they spent so long working on the map just to remove it in literally the first few months of the game. And most importantly, we also got the Overwatch system added to the game. Finally, we can catch cheaters. Good job, Valve. Thank you. Oh, wait. We're 5 months later after this update and still no one has access to Overwatch? That's good. Thank you, Valve. Fucking idiots. After this big update, we had 7 patches that mostly just looked like this, which is very sad. So we fast forward another month to the end of May when the next actual update came, called Fire Sale. This update just tweaked Molotovs and incendiaries, changed the sight from B to A on Vertigo Wingman, yippee, and finally they added the option to rent skins from any CS2 case, which up until this point, and still up until this point today, is only the kilowatt case. Other than this and the changes to chickens, that's about it. A very disappointing content update. The next patch took place already the day after and significantly changed the appearance of Dopplers, Gamma Dopplers, and Marble Fade skins. Now, changing the appearance of skins isn't new to CS2, and it's not really worthy of a mention of an update in this video, but them doing it this late into the full release of the game really undermines the confidence of people buying skins. Why would I spend several $1,000s on an M9 Sapphire, which looks like this when I buy it, only for Valve to nerf it and make it look like this in the next update? It doesn't make any sense. Fast forward another month later, on the 25th of June, we were presented with another content update called The Real MVP. And this update was 3 months ago, so just look at how barren these updates are starting to become. That's very disappointing. This update was also quite lazy by Valve, because all they added was 5 community maps, which are Terra, Mills, Memento, Assembly, and Pool Day. Now, the reason this is disappointing and lazy is because none of these maps were made by Valve. These are all community-made maps, so all they did was just press add to game on the workshop. In this update, they also added the MVP panels, which, yeah, they looked nice, but it's a very minor change. And finally, they also lowered the required wins on any individual competitive map to get a rank from 10 to 2. And that's it. That's the entire big update we got 3 months ago. Since this last content update in July up until now in late September, all the patches we've gotten have looked like my penis, short and not very important. The only actual content we've gotten since this point was the Masterminds 2 music kit box, which in my opinion is ass. And let's be honest, who spends money on opening a music box case? What the fuck? And also sometime in between there, they also opened official servers in London. Ew. So in total, we've had 71 updates to the game in this whole last year, but it still feels emptier than ever. Cheaters are still ruining the game for most people. Sure, it's a little bit better than a few months ago, but it's nowhere near as good as it needs to be. And nowhere near as good as other games like, I'm sorry to say it, Valorant. The Overwatch system is still disabled 5 months after it was added, and still people have unjust VAC bans for using commands like the M-Jaw, which is so stupid. And the worst of all, we're still in Season 1! Have Valve forgotten that they added seasons to the game? Surely each season is not gonna be over 1 year. That means in CSGO, we would only have had 10 seasons total. It doesn't make sense. And I'm losing my voice because I'm so angry and screaming at Valve. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had the huge wall hack issue because someone found out that using certain commands in-game gives you full-blown wall hack without actually cheating. In my opinion, and many others, CS2 still feels like it's in a very early stage of beta, maybe even alpha, especially when you look at Valve's other game, which is still in a closed beta deadlock, which is way more polished, even though it's still in a closed beta. This has been a very disappointing first year of CS2, and I hope Valve can change our opinions in 2025. Thank you guys for watching this video. Now, I'm sad to say that once again, I'm just back to waiting for more updates, which are just never gonna come. Ah!